Assalamu alaikum. Now we will start the new area of FI performance management, that is planning with limiting factors. Right. So we have limiting factors. Firms face many constraints on their activity and they plan accordingly. Right. For example, sometimes they just have a limited demand of their products, uh, or they might have limited skill labor or other production resources such as other limited materials for the production, or they might have a limited finance, which is known as capital rationing. By the way, capital rationing we will study in our F9 financial management exam. Okay, and your examination questions will focus on the problem of scarce resources that prevent the normal plan being achieved. Okay, so then planning with one limiting factor. Firstly, planning with one limiting factor. The usual objective in question is to maximize profit or sometimes is to minimize cost. So given that fixed costs uh, are unaffected by the production decision in short run, the approach should be to maximize contribution earned. Okay, so what are the steps? So what are the steps of those? Number one, identify the scarce resource. Number two, calculate the contribution per unit of each product. Okay, so if number one, number two, what I said, identify the cash resource. Number two, calculate the contribution per unit of each product. Okay. Number three, calculate the contribution per unit of scarce resource for each product. Number four, rank the products in order to maximize in order of the contribution per unit of scarce resource. Number five, allocate resources using this ranking and answer the question. Okay. Now, if there is one limited factor, problem is solved using the key factor analysis, and we have the example over here. Over here, X Limited makes three products A, B, and C for which unit cost machine hours and selling prices are as follows. Okay, product A, B, and C machine hours are 10, 12, and 14. Okay, direct materials at 50 cent per kg, 14 kg for $7, 12 kg for $6, 10 kg for $5. Direct wages at 7.5 per hour. It's 1.2 hours from $9, 0.8 hours 6, and zero point 0.4 hours of free. Variable overheads are 3 and 3. Marginal cost are 19, 15, and 11. Selling prices are 25, 20, and 15. Contribution is 6, 5, and 4. So sales demand for the product is as follows: product A 4,000, product B 6,000, product C 6,000. Company policy is to produce a minimum of 1,000 units of product A. The supply of material in the period is unlimited, but machine hours are limited to 200,000 and direct labor hours to 5,000. We have to indicate the production levels that should be adopted for the three products in order to maximize profitability and state the maximum contribution. Right. So far, so good. Now let us solve the example. So let's do it now. Over here. Step one, identify the scarce resource. Sales potential units, total machine hours, total labor hours. Okay. Product A, product B, product C. 4,000, 6,000, and 6,000. Total machine hours 40,000, 72,000, and 84,000. Total labor hours 4,800, 4,800, and 2,400. Total is 196,000 and 12,000. So in this case, what is the limiting factor? Labor hours are the limiting factor in this case. Okay. Step two, calculate contribution per unit, which is already done in the question for us. Then we have next step, step three, which is calculate the contribution per unit of the scarce resource for each product, that is labor per labor hour. Calculate the contribution per unit of scarce resource for each product. So product A, 6 divided by 1.2, we get 5. Product B, 5 divided by 0.8. So we got 5 over here, then 5 for product B, it's 5 divided by 0.8, so we will get 6.25. And for product C, it's 4 divided by 0.4, we get 10. Step 4, rank the products. So rank the products. It's first C, second B, and then on third number it will be A. Okay. And now final step, allocate resources using this ranking So unit produced, labor hours, cumulative labor hours, and limiting factor. Product A, 1000, 1200, and 1200. Total is the limiting factor is 1000 units, as we have the policy to produce 1000 units. Product C, 6000 units produced. Yeah, labor hours are 2400. Okay, and cumulative labor hours are 3600. And product B, 1750 labor hours, 1400, total is 5000 labor hours sales and labor hours. Okay, now so maximum contribution will be A, 1000 into 6, 6000, B, 1750 into 5, that is 8750, and C, 6000 into 4, 24,000. Total is 38,750. That's it for this example. Now, what if we have several limiting factors? So when there are two or more scarce resources, the method, uh, know, when we have one or more scarce resources, right, in short supply, when limit which limits organized activities, then linear programming is required to find the solution. Okay, and linear programming is used to maximize contribution and minimize cost. So what are the steps involved in linear programming? Number one, define the variable. Number two, define and formulate objectives. For example, maximize contribution is equal to C is equal to 5x plus 6y. That is formulating the problem. Step three, formulating the constraint. Number four, draw graph. Identify the feasible region. Number five, solve for the optimal problem, that is solving problem. Solve for the optimal production plan, that is solving the problem. And finally, answer the question, that is maximize the profit, etc. And linear programming calculations will only involve two variables in exam questions for F5 performance management exam. Okay, so far so good. Now, company produces two products in three departments. Details are shown below regarding time per unit required in each department, the available hours in each department, and combination per unit of each product is product X, product Y, and available hours. Department A, 8, 4, 12, contribution per unit 4, 10, 10, 6, and 8. 11,000, 9,000, and 12,000. There is unlimited demand for product X, but demand for product Y is limited to 600 per annum. Requirement is determined using step by step approach what the optimum production plan is. So let's do it. First, see, it's very simple. Step one, define the variables. Let X is equal to number of summer house, sorry, uh, not summer houses. Sorry. Okay, now to determine what optimal production plan is, we will now follow the linear programming step as it is as first one. What I wrote, define the variables. X is equal to number of units, Y is equal to number of units to produce. Step two, define and formulate the objective function, which is C is equal to 4x plus 8y. Step three, formulate the constraints in department A, 8x plus 10y less than or equal to 11,000 hours. In department B, 4x plus 10y less than or equal to 9,000 hours. In department C, 12x plus 6y less than or equal to 12,000 hours. Non-negativity constant, never forget to write this non-negativity constant because it will always provide give you zero point 0.5 marks. Okay, sales demand for product Y is also a constant that can be expressed by the inequality of less than or equal to 600. So sales demand for product Y, Y is less than or equal to 600. That's how you need to do it. So far, so good. Now, next is draw a graph, identify feasible region. At all the constraints are straight lines, so each can be drawn by joining 2 points in LP equation if it is often easier to get the two endpoints, that is where the lines cross the x and y axis. To draw constant one, constant in department where we take the inequality, which is 8x plus 10y less than or equal to 11,000 hours, and turn it into an equation which is 8x plus 10y is equal to 11,000. To draw this constant, we need two points. And what are those? If x is equal to 0, y equals to 11,000 divided by 10. So y equals to 1100. Likewise, if y is equals to 0, x is equal to 11,000 divided by 8. So x is equal to 1375. Okay. So to draw constants in department B, now for the department B, x is equal to 0, y equals to 900, and y equals to 0, x is equal to 2250. For department C, x is equal to 0, y equals to 2000, y equals to 0, x is equal to 1000. Okay. To draw the final constant, we draw the line y equals to 600 for any value of x, which is if x is equal to 0, y equals to 600, and if x is equal to 100, y equals to 600. For each constant line, we then need to consider whether the acceptable feasible coordinates are below to above the line. All of the constants here are types, so acceptable solutions are to the left below the line, giving the feasible region of a, b, c, d, e. Okay. Now finally, what we will do in this case, we will draw a graph which is like this. In examination, you do not have to, as the exams are C, D, E, you do not have to make the graph. Okay, you will get it ready. Although you have to identify the points in those graphs in your for your solution. 0, 200, 400, 800, 1000, 1200, 1400, 1600, 1800, 2000, 2200, and 24. Likewise, 100. By the way, this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000, 1100, 1200, 1300, wow, 1400, 1500, 1600, 1700, 1800, 1900, 2000, 2100, and that's it. Now, here it is 4 to 800. First line, next line, between 2000 to 1000. I have to shorten the screen like this. Okay, then 600, y is equal to 600. Y is equal to 600. This is like this. Y is equal to 600. Another line is 900 and 2200. So where is 900 and 2200? Yes, like this. 1100 and 1400. That's all I'm doing after solving the above equations. Okay, all are done. So A point, that's the B point, that's my C point, that's my D point, that's my E point. Department B, 4x plus 10y is equal to 9,000. Department A, 8x plus 10y is equal to 11,000. That's our ISO contribution line. So that's how the graph will be presented. So far, so good. Now, finally, last step, finding the optimum solution. So we do not know the maximum value of the objective function. However, we can draw an ISO contribution of profit, the line that shows all the combination of x and y to provide the same total value for the objective function. If, for example, we need to maximize profit contribution, so that will be 4x plus 8y. We cannot draw a line on a graph that shows combination of value of x and y that gives the simple total contribution when x has a contribution of 4 and y has a contribution of 8. Any total contribution figure can be picked, but a multiple of 4 and 8 is easiest. Assume 4x plus 8y is equal to 4,000. This contribution line could be found by joining the points on the graph, that is x is equal to 0, y equals to 500, and x is equal to 1,000, y equals to 0. Instead, we might select a total contribution value of what could be done, 4x plus 8y is equal to 8,000. This contribution line could be found by joining the points on the graph. X is equal to 0, y is equal to 1,000, y equals to 1,000, and x is equal to 2,000, y equals to 0. So when driving both of these contribution lines on graph, we find that the two lines are parallel, and the line with the higher total contribution value for value x and y 8,000 is further away from the origin of graph 0. This can be used to identify the solution to linear programming problem. Draw the ISO contribution line showing combination of value x and y that gives the same total value for the objective function. So optimum corner is the corner C. So what we will do, 8x plus 10y is equal to 11,000, y is equal to 600, and x is equal to 625, and y is equal to 600. So the optimum production plan is to produce 625 units of product X and 600 units of product Y. The contribution at this point is maximize C is equal to 625 into 4 plus 600 into 8, that is 7,300. So far, so good. Now, let's move to the other example. Hubs manufacture summer houses and garden sheds. Each product passes through a cutting process, in an assembly process. One summer house have makes a contribution of $50, takes 6 hours cutting cutting time and 4 hours assembly time, while one shed makes a contribution of $40 and takes a 3 hours contribution time and cutting time and 8 hours assembly time. There is a maximum of 36 cutting hours available each week and 48 assembly hours. Okay, so cuttings are paid $10 per hour and assembly warehouses $15 per hour. Requirement to formulate the linear progression programming problem. Right. So so far so good. Let's do it. Well, in this example, we have to apply three steps only. Okay, so step one, define the variables. Let x is equal to number of summer houses each week. Right? Y is equal to number of garden sheds. Produce each week. Step two, define and formulate the objective function. Okay, and step three, formulate the constraints. Okay, if one summer house require 6 hours cutting time, X summer houses require 6 hours cutting time. If one shed requires 3 hour cutting time, Y shed require 3 hours cutting time. So your equation will be hence total cutting time. Total cutting time required is 6x plus 3y hours. Similarly, if one summer house and one shed requires 4 and 8 hours assembly time, respectively, the total assembly time for X summer houses and sheds will be 4x plus 8y. So the conventional way of setting out the constants is to place the units utilized on the left and those available on the right. The inequality sign is the link. Okay, so far so good. Uh, I hope you guys understand till here. Now we are keeping it till here in this video. In next video, we will move it from here to the next level. Till then, take care.